We talk a lot about marks, but not about how students actually feel during this phase.
But it's just a piece of paper that defines my date of birth.
Why it is happening? Something will be there. Na? If the child is good before, then why she or he is doing like this kind of behavior right now?
When a teacher is walking into the classroom, the teacher should be aware now.
Teachers have to be updated rather.
Why will the child feel compelled to listen to me?
I will always suggest to all the parents कि if you ever observe that your child are getting any kind of health issues before exam or something, then don't think it's just a health issue. There must be some other reason.
Hello everyone. Today we are here to discuss about exams and preparation for exams, a topic which is very close to our heart, and for the mental well-being of children, which is so important in today's day and age. Board exams are often treated as a turning point of a student's life, sometimes more important than it actually is. Today we are not here to discuss any tricks and formulas. We are here to talk honestly about preparation, expectation, the mental health and well-being of the students for the preparation of board exams and how to do it. Today we have with us Mrs. Savita Shah, Academic Director of Aditya Academic Group of Schools, Mrs. Shohini Bhattacharya, Psychological Counselor of Aditya Academy. We have Shumona Shah, Principal Aditya Academy Barasat. We have with us Mrs. Meghna Ghoshal, Principal Aditya Academy Damdam. And we have with us Dr. Aditya Srimali, Dental Surgeon and Aditya Academy Alumni. We talk a lot about marks, but not about how students actually feel during this phase. I would like to ask Shohini Bhattacharya ma'am, what are the early signs that a student is struggling?
So with my students, what I identified that they get very much irritated with their situations, besides the drop of their academic performances, and all the time they are not able to pay their attention. So even if you are talking to them, they are all the time they are doing something else. Even what I observe, their eye contact. Most of the time they blinks that much, and they are not able to stick in particular topic for a long time, like from one topic to another topic, fluctuations very much. These are very much happens to them, and most importantly in these days you all know about mobile addiction. So most of the time why it happens ki real life they are not able to do some particular thing what they can portray that particular character in the mobile game based character. So they are trying to do these things, and they are not able to do, they are not getting chance to do. So they think, okay, I am a hero in my game, so that is their world. So the virtual reality is very much nowadays become their own reality. So it is very bad effect, I can say. And most importantly, parents, I would suggest for every parents ki they should know why they are doing that, rather instead of attacking those children directly, because most of the time what they are thinking ki my child is not paying attention, my child is they are earlier they have good academic performance, but now by growing age the performance drop. Then why it is happening? Please try to figure out why it is happening rather attacking them, because they don't know why they are doing this. So but you can understand, if one parent can be their good friend, then I believe ki they can solve much more problem rather than us. They should not attack them.
So as adult, as parents, we are supposed to be helping them out
Exactly.
instead of and figuring out where
Exactly.
they are not being able to concentrate
Exactly.
and what
Exactly.
is happening.
Because why it is happening? Something will be there. Na? Ki if the child is good before, then why she or he is doing like this kind of behavior right now?
Absolutely. And Shumola ma'am, do you have a take on this?
The problem nowadays is communication. Communication between parents, communication with the child, communication with the teachers, friends, everybody. You will notice that post-corona, this communication has become a major problem. There are 2 or 3 children sitting together, all playing with a cell phone but not talking. Now they have a problem talking to strangers. Even in the metro, if you pass, you'll find all of people are quiet, they don't talk anymore. So communication naturally has become a problem. So they don't open up. Parents are both working, they're left in the house alone, and only for the companion they've got a cell phone. So their lives are bound in that cell phone. They cannot come out of it. They live their fake lives, their virtual life, whatever you call it, in that cell phone. So from there, I believe the child starts getting very lonely. Until the child talks, he will never express himself. If we see partially a child is exposed to us, our judgment also will be partial. We are not seeing the child in its entirety. So, we are biased, we are partial in our objections, in our views, in our ideas, in our opinions about a child, we are partial.
In this day and age of social media,
Yes,
I think we are becoming more and more lonely.
Yes, ma'am.
Is what the truth is.
Very lonely.
Shohini ma'am, is exam stress always visible?
No, it's not always, because I am an example of that. When I was a child, not child, I was a student. So the thing is, my family was very open-minded and they never give any pressure to me, never. So my elder sister is a scientist, and for me, everything is fine. So they never mentioned ki you do this or you do that. But I by myself, I always scored good in my exam. Every time I stood first and everything. But unfortunately, I don't know why this that monster, you can say, even every night before my exam, I could visualize ki like I am giving something, I am preparing for something wrong exam, and maybe when I will appear, I will appear for some wrong exam. So this kind of thoughts, and every time this competitive tendency, but as I mentioned, I never scored bad, I never did anything wrong. No one could understood
But
that
there is
moment.
this lack in confidence of being
Lack
able
of
to sit through the
confidence.
exam
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
able
So
to do it.
you just now I realized ki what happened that moment ki my all of a sudden, like I could not digest any food. Okay, my sleep became very much fluctuation in sleep. I could not digest properly. So these things, lots of health issues happened that moment. So nowadays I could realize ki okay, so this was the reason. When I became a psychologist and I studied over there, I go through lots of research work and all. That moment I understood ki okay, so this reasons I also faced that moment.
Because of chronic stress, I believe.
Exactly. So I will always suggest to all the parents ki if you ever observe that your child are getting any kind of health issues before exam or something, then don't think it's just a health issue. There must be some other reason, because ultimately we can call that gut-brain axis. Doctor must know you. Gut-brain axis means what our brain thinks, the effect is in our body only. And the entire digestive system, entire things are getting just fluctuating. So we can't say ki there is some specific health issue. There must be some other reason. So parents should observe these things also, and the proper communication ki are you really feeling well? Do you need any help?
What the
Just
underlying
think,
concerns are.
do you need any help? And not most importantly, you should remove the stigma. If the parents will think ki okay, my child need a counseling, they should encourage their child for going to that counseling session, instead of thinking ki okay, so if my child will go to counselor sir or ma'am, then they will labeled, they will be labeled ki most of the time I have faced this kind of questions ki ma'am, do you think my child is getting mad just because ki she is having a counseling session? So this kind of stigma should be removed from the parents' mind. Absolutely. So that child can freely communicate with them, and child can freely think ki what they actually want to do and what they actually facing any issue. Because most of the time, ma'am, we don't know ourselves.
We don't know ourselves.
Even as per psychology, we only know ourselves 5%. Then how I can expect ki everyone will know? My parents never know me because I don't know myself.
Correct.
So if I need to know myself, then I have to figure it out. I have to be calm. My mind should be in the calm state. Then only I can
More
think.
importantly, the parents have to keep that calm in
Exactly,
them to be able
exactly.
to see the changes.
Very
and
much,
notice the
very much
changes.
important.
Ma'am,
very
you
much.
have seen so many students pass out of Aditya Academy in the last 30 years. I mean, what is your take on this, on exams and whether the stress is visible or not?
Rightly said, as ma'am Sohini said, ma'am, it is not always visible. We have seen, generations are changing. We are coming to a smarter generation though, but there is an undercurrent among the students nowadays. As we do not feel it, but yes, if we are seeing our students from childhood, you can easily make out that this particular child is having some problem. The body language tells us that. In the olden days, the relationship between the teachers and the parents were very strong, and it needs to be like that, I feel. This is my personal view. Why I am saying so? The moment the child comes to know that the parent and the teacher are interconnected and we are with them, they are 50 to 60% in a comfortable zone. And the moment they come to know the teacher is there for me always. So my suggestions to all the teachers will be, each subject teacher has to know what are the weak points of the particular child. So instead of focusing that in the classroom situation, rather in our school we do that also. We have remedial classes where we point out that this is the problem where you are facing, because it changes person to person, student to student, it varies. So half the homework is done over there only. That is the biggest achievement, I must say. And nowadays children, they are smarter, they don't want to give in, and the parents also are not aware that this is going to happen. And most probably, since there is a gap between us, children also at times take advantage of it, and that is where I think a teacher should play a major role rather, and do the counseling for the parents and inform them, take them into their confidence and guide the children accordingly. Because children do not easily say that I don't know nowadays, and they know better than us, that is also true. But how to put it rightly, that is the main thing, that is where they lose marks, and that is the challenge that they face. So those tips has to be given from the school side.
Ma'am, I would like to add on to this. I feel that, in the classroom situation, when a teacher is walking into the classroom, the teacher should be aware now that all the children are exposed to Google and ChatGPT. Exactly. So I feel the method of teaching needs to be worked upon. And also I feel that if the method of teaching is worked upon, the content delivery is much better done. And once the connect is established, the child feels interesting and the child feels motivated to attend the class, I think 70% of the work is done. And then the lesson delivery is another 30%. And I feel that that itself will reduce the stress, because if the content delivery is really done in a proper way and using, the genre of words that a child normally connects with the peers, then what happens? The child can relate and remember. So if those things are actually taken into consideration, I feel that this particular stress can be reduced to a large extent. And we are already doing it in our school. And I feel that, but yes, more work needs to be done at lower levels too.
Correct.
So we are working
Teachers,
towards it.
I believe, need to be groomed likewise.
Yeah. Teachers have to be updated rather.
Yeah, this day and age of technology, children
Exactly.
don't
They
need
have to be updated.
information.
Because nowadays
on
it's
everyone's
child-centric
fingertips.
education.
Correct.
Perfect. So
So how to
child-centric-
find the correct information is how the teacher guides them,
Of
What
course,
is
of
very
course, of
important.
course.
And also the method, the way I'm connecting to a child, that is something very important.
Absolutely.
Why will the child feel compelled to listen to me? That's, I think, we should
No,
work.
I've seen, ma'am, like the same class behaves in a different way with an A teacher and with a B teacher. So there itself, standing outside, we can understand why is it so. And what is the, even children can assess the teachers. Nowadays children very fast, tip of the fingers they do it. So that is where the teachers face the challenge. So I think teachers should do their homework before entering the class.
And doctor, to you, how was your board exams? What was your entire experience of your board exams like?
During my days, it's like, yes, I'm sounding like a prehistoric person now, but it's not actually like that. I passed out my class 10th in 2010, and 2012 I gave my high secondary, that was class 12 exams. So it was not a very different scenario, I should say, but actually the conditions or the stimulations were different at that point of time. We had a very good bond with the teachers, but we used to fear them also. We had at like what ma'am said, at the back of the mind somewhere it was there that if I do anything wrong in the school, it will be conveyed to my parents, and my parents won't be acting on my side.
They'll be supporting the teachers.
They were like, parents and teachers were like husband and wife. They were in coordination, and I was the third person outside. So I had that fear, but it was never that they used to rule us by the rod. It was always by the words, by the guidance, by the knowledge they had. And I was very much what I should say, like I was very much lucky, I should say, that my teachers were there to always guide us through the whole process. My 10th boards, I was very scared because there was a lot of hue and cry about boards is this, boards is that. But frankly, standing today here, I shouldn't be saying that, but it's just a piece of paper that defines my date of birth.
Examination,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, my class 10th mark sheet, the only place I found it useful was getting admissions in my science stream.
Correct.
Okay, apart from that, till date I'm using it only as a proof of my date of birth.
Yes.
But again, I'll say that we should not take it as a joke, because somewhere or the other, that's the only piece that decides where my future is actually going to be. These words sound very good, that a piece of paper cannot decide my future, but that's 1 in a million case.
Yeah.
All are not blessed in that way. So I think that piece of paper, yes, it decided my future.
Of course, 100%.
The first board exam is always very important.
Yeah, I think class 10 is very
Very
important, like
important.
sir mentioned, for deciding the stream. But then what you do with your marks and what you do with that stream, again, you know, goes into life, and
I'll
it's a
not
very
just say
different-
only with class 10th, like I passed my dental schooling and everything. Whether I did it, I passed with good grades or bad grades, none of the patients come and ask me that. They only come and see what kind of treatment I'm able to give to them.
Correct.
Whether I'm treating them correctly, I'm treating them in a bad way, what's my virtue, what's my knowledge, that's all that they see.
That
They
actually-
never ask me that, sir, how much did you score in your first year?
Yeah.
They are really not worried about that marks. What actually, but yeah, these marks are important, because actually this marks is what, it's a parameter of what you know.
Yeah, it makes a base for your life ahead. But it's not the ultimate defining goal that the parents make it to be, or, you know, sometimes in the society.
No, ma'am, right, like all the things were going on, was that parents start making these marks as a parameter for comparing their children with others.
With other children.
And that's where the things go very down, like on the downside.
Correct.
They are not only affecting their children mentally, but even they are making them have that slight hint of enmity towards their fellow students, that why can he score? This can sometimes even grow into criminal instincts.
Yeah, rightly said. Here I'll interrupt him, ma'am. Earlier it was there, we always encourage children to go for group study, peer discussion. But often we have heard from children that said, no, these notes are not to be shared. This, you know, my mother said, don't share with your friends. This comes out of their mouth, like, you know, and that, you know, surprises us. Like you tell that knowledge is for sharing, but whereas we are teaching the children not to share with their friends. Because this is the point. You feel that, okay, if he gets those answers, he will write better than me and score much more.
Yeah, but is it that? Is
No,
it
not
really
at all,
that
not at
ever
all,
in a
not at all.
classroom situation?
Not at all.
Actually, one example I would like to cite here, one of our student here, he scored around 65% in class 10 and he took science. And then I realized that, you know, he is a student. One day he came, I was walking down the corridor and he said that, ma'am, I had created this. I said, from where did you do? Then he told me that he actually builds models based on the things that have been rejected by people. So he's excellent in model making. So I thought that, you know, it is very important that we utilize this child's skill. And that was the first year where we sent the child in the CBSE science exhibition, and he prepared a model. And he was so nervous he couldn't present himself. So we told him to prepare, you know, and we also addressed the anxiety issues that the child was having, but nonetheless, he could finally master it to whatever way he could. And he participated. And that participation itself, it actually raised the confidence level to such an extent, the same child scored around 85% in class 12. And a remarkable improvement in his performance that we saw. So this itself shows that, you know, the way we guide the student, the way we channelize his or her skill and the expertise, I think it has got a lot to do with the educators ourselves.
Of course.
Ma'am, how do students, what are the tips for students to manage anxiety and stress during exams?
Okay, so first of all, what I did, I would suggest to everyone, that is for deep breathing. Deep breathing means not just, you know, you are doing yoga, like nowadays everyone is doing yoga, but actually Om, if you are saying Om, just Om, that should come from your, you know, navi, not from just from your throat. So this actually creates a great concentration, and all the chakras are getting activated if you can do that properly, but that is a something different thing. But I would suggest ki if you, first and foremost important thing is to make a proper routine. Routine in the sense, like, you know, it is from my life experience, what I mean in which subject I am weak, or in which part I am, in which chapter I am weak, only I can understand. No one can guide that. Like if anyone will ask me, ki ma'am, psychology is good or bad, I will of course say ki it's good. But for my elder sister, if I ask her ki how is physics, she is a physicist, so she will of course say yeah, it's good. So don't ask anyone, rather ask yourself. So for that, maintaining a routine, and by going through all your, you know, like weakness, ki okay, this chapter, this subjects, these are my weak point, so I have to figure it out, or I have to put more time, I have to allot more time for that subject or that chapter. So this is very much important. And besides, you know, as I mentioned, deep breathing, but for children these are very much difficult for going for deep breathing. So better if you go for self-reflective writing, like if they write diary, if I would suggest to every of my students ki just write what is success according to you. What is success? Even I give this task to their parents also, ki what is success for in your vision? Because for me, ma'am, when I was a child or when I was a student, that time for me success means okay to, you know, get good marks in this exam. But nowadays, in these days, after coming in this position, after I think ki success is something different. Success is not just getting good marks. Success means if you are happy in your life, in your position. So happiness is something different. If you are not happy, then you can't get good marks in your life, and that matters a lot. So I believe, and I actually give this suggestion to every of my student and their parents also, ki self-reflective writing is very much important to solve your own issue, because your issue is only your issue. No one can solve this. You have to figure it out. If, as I mentioned ma'am before, ki if you if I ask you ki someday it happens na ma'am ki after waking up you may feel ki I am not feeling good, but you don't know why are you not feeling good. It happens to us every time. Maybe we are ignoring, maybe we are following the daily routine of our life, but we don't even know why actually we are not feeling good. So we have to figure it out that why. And that is the reason we can solve the base root of the thing. So self-reflective writing is very much important, and it builds lots of concentration also. So this will I ask to every students, and besides to write what is success according to you, because that can be a step for, you know, growing in your future success. That I will suggest.
So meditation, breathing exercises and self-reflective
This is of course
writing,
ma'am, but meditation is not works for children.
So Dr. Aditya, what helped you the most during these days of examination and the stress that you had to deal with? What were the emotional support, or academically, what support did you get at that point of time?
See, frankly speaking, if I could have gone back, I wouldn't have asked for anything more, what my parents or my teachers offered me. But yeah, definitely I would have asked something from myself, that I would have been a little bit more serious towards my studies. That time I was not being so thinking about my future and everything. I was going with the flow, everything was, I was seeing the world through the colorful glasses. Everything was different. My parents, they supported me quite well. My teachers, they educated me quite well. Because of that, maybe today, here I am, where I'm sitting. But even, I would suggest every parent nowadays, or every student, to openly go back to their houses or their teachers and ask them whatever problems they are facing openly, being unashamed about anything. It's not that if you're asking that I'm bad at English, being in English medium school means that you are doomed to your family. it always means that, yeah, you know what your problem is. Half of the time students cannot identify what their problem is. So identifying and rectifying it is very important, which is a very valuable part. And I guess parents should be more involved, making the home ambience a
Having the
bit
conducive ambience
more
in the house.
favorable for the students, because if the student is working for 1 year tirelessly, I guess they can give their students or their children at least a month or two without any fights at home, without any grudges or any alterations, so that they can focus completely on their studies, being supportive to them. Because in these last few months, I don't think that any teacher would create a miracle over them. They don't have any magical stuff that they'll just roam above their head and the students are brilliant next day. So it's parents who need to work more, and again I'll say work in tandem with the teachers.
One thing I would love to add, that it's not any weakness, it's a signal. You can rectify that. So parents need to identify the signal
Identify those
rather to label it as a weakness. It's very much
And
important.
having that environment in the house,
Exactly.
where the children are preparing.
Exactly. Actually,
So the parents
should
also have to make
grow their
lifestyle
awareness.
changes for
Of
those
course,
couple of months for the
of course.
children.
It's very much important.
Closing note, I think what we learned today is time management, communication, reflection on what you're doing, would be some of the tips that we take back from today. And whoever's sitting for their board exams, we are wishing everyone all the best.